Howdy doody. Welcome to the Mad Painter Show. Okay, from that last video before, as far as the patients, it totally threw me off because it was like, okay, what do you guys really want to know about? And so I asked that question. And it had something to do with how did I go about getting here? So have you ever had the question, how did I get here? All of this is going to connect with the title, but hear me out. So, this video, you'll be learning a smidge bit about me and how we got here, which is an interesting story, but I won't fill you in on the whole thing, but this may also connect with you and what's going on with you. So, in being an artist, I've always, since I was little, I was always doing some type of drawing or painting. But there began to be like a pressure on me to create something. There were periods of time where I needed to create and times where it's just I was sitting there and just kind of drawing because there was nothing else to do. But it got to a place where it's like, yeah, this is what I want to do. So I always had, because I had a faith-based mother, I always had some type of sensitivity to my spirit. Since I was small, she was always talking about the spirit, God, etc., etc., etc. And so I always had like a sensitivity to the spirit, and I was just kind of moved to volunteer at an art gallery, which I was surprised that I did it afterwards. It was like, what the heck, Nicole? Is this really what, because you didn't obligated your Saturdays? But it was part of a thing that changed my life. So in this part of being an artist and observing all the creativity, because I'm a nature person, and nature is such a beautiful, artistic, I mean, it really shows the creator's work. You know what I'm saying? And so in observing the work of God and observing music, because I'm a big music lover and I pay attention to how all of these things tap into the emotions. And so I wanted to portray that in my artwork. And so that was one of the questions that I was like asking and also seeking out. How do I put this energy in my artwork? Well, be careful what you ask for. So, in volunteering at the art gallery and speaking to different artists, and then also lifing, you know, because life can be lifing in the midst of you seeking out your treasure, even though at the time you don't know that's what's happening. So I'm going through life and learning more about art, learning more about my artistic self. And at this time, I was also going to school, getting my bachelor's degree in art. Well, that's another video. But as I was going on, I talked to different artists, and they were just giving me advice. There's one particular artist, I cannot remember his name at the moment, but he had spectacular work. And he just told me, but because he was, you know, I was asking him some questions, and I was probably looking crazy too because I was going through a thing at the same time. But he was like, just go home and paint like mad crazy and just paint. And I started doing that, and voila, the development of the Mad Painter. And this also is connected with emotions as well, but it's mainly from what he encouraged me to do. So in the midst of going home and, you know, doing this Mad Painter thing, because it's like I'm just tapping into it, and it's another part of me that I've never experienced. I've experienced, like, I don't want to say never experienced, but let me say just experienced a smidge of it, but now it started getting bigger, and it was like, okay, this is what we should be doing. And so in going into this and in learning more, let's just say hearing more about God and you know, learning, you know, going off into this art thing, because it's like, wow, this is something else. I feel different. And then there's heavy exposure to gun violence. So, I mean, stuff had been going on when I was younger, but then as I gotten older, I had gotten more exposed to it. And art became a thing that was very therapeutic. It became an outlet. It began to change the messages, because at first art was just a thing and, oh, that looks pretty, this is something that I want to do. And then it switched to, yeah, I have to get this out. So it became therapeutic. Further on down the line, oh, things that became therapeutic to me, now I'm showing it in art shows, and it's triggering other people. At the time, I didn't recognize and it was triggering other people. But also in the midst of developing these messages in my art and displaying them, exhibiting them, those were two words that were getting mixed. I'm having conversations with people by the grace of God. I've been studying God. I put myself in a position to allow God to speak through me, because in the midst of allowing art to be therapeutic to me, God was also, because it was helping to clear my mind. God was also filling me back with things, with love, with information, with helping me through this healing process, so that not only am I able to get it out, I can also talk about these things with other people. And in seeing what was going on in these talks, it was like, wow, people need healing just like I do. And that's what led me on the course of going to counseling. And so I took my art degree and went to get a counseling degree. Now, it wasn't just like this, because life, as I was saying, life be lifing. And in the midst of life be lifing, we have spiritual warfare. For we do not fight against flesh and blood. This is somewhere in, like, I want to say Ephesians 6. I have little notes. I'm kind of freestyling this. But I want to say it's somewhere in like Ephesians 4-6, somewhere in there. Read Ephesians. The whole book of Ephesians is actually pretty dope. And in reading Ephesians, my mother would tell me, she had told me a long time ago to read Ephesians 3:21, 3:14 through 21. I read, and she told me to read it as a prayer for myself, which I had done some videos a while back. But in reading it, I read it every day. I read it every day for years. I might miss a day here and there, but I read it every day. Had read it so much, I memorized it and I knew it. But then after so many years of memorizing it and knowing I'd still read it, one day it hit me. This is something that I am to experience, something that I'm supposed to be doing. And so this began my spiritual walk with, like, the real thing, walk with God. Like, at first it was like I was a kid. I was going through and it was like, oh, okay, wow, this is cool. But then it began the actual asking questions, getting to know God, getting to know his word. And in that, I got to know myself. And so in the midst of going this, I was led, because it popped up. Part of it was like thinking it was an easy fix, but it wasn't. And it was like, just go to school and get your counselor's degree, be a counselor, start making money, this, that, you can combine the artwork. And yeah, it didn't work out like that. But in going to school, I learned a lot about the system of school, and in learning how there are a lot of things that can cause confusion, create different emotions, this, that, and the other. And this is the purpose of having this relationship, because in this relationship, there's nobody around you. It'll look like you are alone, but baby, let me tell you, you're never alone. So in this walk and in going through all these trials and tribulations, it was a thing like, don't look at the trial and tribulation. Look at me and look at my word. So in looking at God and looking at his word, it fed me, it helped me. And so I went on, because let me go back. Before I went to counseling school and before I went through this spiritual walk and in this way of just being an artist. It was in being so sensitive to things around you, because again, and going back to the gun violence and being sensitive to the things around you, there's a constant conflict between cutting these things off, like totally being shut down because you're overwhelmed and tired of feeling the things of the world and everything that's crying out and all. It's heavy. And so there's a thing between having to being sensitive, because if I shut down, I'm shutting off God. I'm shutting off the love of God, because I'm no longer being sensitive. But if I am being sensitive and not at that moment, not knowing how to block these things out. So I was ready to go. Not ready to go because of some person or this, that, and the other. I just felt so tired. I felt tired and I wanted to give up. But God changed it. And in showing this, and now rewinding back to where I was, and showing this relationship, he gave me strength. And in showing that even though it does look like I'm alone, I'm not alone. And his word fed me, and I needed people around me who can tell, like, who was constantly speaking things to me that was in this relationship, because my mother was there, but I needed more. I just needed to be fed. So along with seeking it out on my own and going through this psychological study and this spiritual study, my mother introduced me to my today mentor, Bishop Dale Bronner. And in listening to him and in listening to other people, it put me on a different path and changed my perspective. So here we go with this art thing and then this counseling thing. And I'm seeing that in being a creator, because the art thing originally started out as my therapy. And as people and doing it as a thing for money, it began to drain me, because some things I can do for money, but when that stuff started taking me for when I had to do stuff for other people, it was no longer my therapy, and I was no longer able to express the things that I needed to express, so that I can also talk to other people when these things are being exhibited, because I realized I'm not the only one in these struggles and in these sufferings. So here I am right now today with these YouTube videos, because when it came to the question of my art, and I was seeing how I can be successful in this, but I didn't know fully how to go about in a plan of success, and I knew it had to be bigger than just being money. And so, and talking to God about it. And that's what I'm doing now, and what I wasn't doing before is now including God in on my plans. Now asking him about everything. No longer going into the mindset of, I want this, thank you for this, I keep thinking about this, and if I think about this and focus on this, I'll receive that, because it is bigger than what I want. It is bigger than my desires. So in getting to the place of questioning, like, what's wrong with doing as thy wilt? And in understanding the will of God, and how the will of God is much bigger than what I want. Because what I want, I mean, it may have the ability to touch 4 or 5 people if I'm not being selfish, but in what God wants, God has it can touch a multitude, because I'm following what he wants. So hence in the YouTube video, because I was having issues with what was going on with my social media. I got tired of the whole thing with, well, I gotta sell sex in order to sell my artwork. I mean, I see the things that are posted up there, and it was like, man, come on now. And so now it was like, I have to have a real purpose to this. So in seeing out and discovering what life is all about, because it's more than just waking up, going to work, going to school, doing this, that, and the other, doing whatever these people are asking you to do, go to bed, do the same thing every day, every day, every day, every day, every day. That's boring. It makes you want to hurry up and go. And so, and especially when you no longer have that to do, then what? And hence people in retirement, this, that, and the other. So in seeking the will of God and seeking out what this creator thing is about, because we are made in the image of the us of God. And so in seeking out that, what that is and who we are, we find out who the great I am is. Here, there, all around us, and learning how to be sensitive to the creator, not to this. All this stuff can get overwhelming. We definitely want our cup to overflow, but not overflow with us and what's going on in the world and drama, crap, this, that, and the other. No, you seeking for life to change, because that's definitely what I was doing, because I was ready to be about this bad boy. And now I have, no matter what's going on, God is giving me joy. And this is a thing in where it's like, it's not about just reading the scripture every day and just saying this is what it is and you're going to hell if you don't come in with them shoes on. So no, this is not one of those things. This is an experience. And even though we have Monday through Friday, look at the world outside. Every day is not the same. Why are we looking at every day being the same? Same old. No, it is not. Now and today is the time to experience life. And what is the title of my video here? Being in the purpose of your life, having the ear to hear and the heart to receive. So how do we get here? You're gonna go from how did I get here to, oh my God, how do we even got it? Well, no, it wasn't not about you, because I don't even know how you did this, but you did the thing. So in this, you to do all that you can do. Dig this treasure, look for it, seek it out. Knock on them doors, because it's there for you. And it's not just a thing and give me what I want, genie, give it to me. No, this is about relationship and really finding out what love is, and really finding out this true thing, and having integrity and living in the being of what it is that you're seeking, because you're bringing it here. And it's like an exchange thing, the pyramid thing, we are bringing all this collective energy and putting it up there so that we can collect what it has and spread it out and give it to the people. And that's how I got here. I love you, and I want to share this love so that you can share this love with other people, and not just about this video. No, this is about for the seeds that you are receiving, and that you are, whatever it is that you are choosing to seek out, and to seek the bigger, the abundance of a thing, the truth and love, and seek this wisdom out for that. And when your cup overflows and you are passing this love to others, that's what this is about. And it is going to make life even brighter. Let your light shine in this darkness, because there is a light with you and all that is inside of us. And it seems like nothing. Nope. There's light within. Let it shine. I love you guys. God loves you even more. Find out why. Because I'm sharing it with you guys, so that whatever your purpose is, because it is out to be shared with the world. And do that, baby. Gotta start from somewhere. Make it great, my friends.